Hey yo, my you. What's happening, brothers? What's happening? Peace, man. Now, in this one, I'm taking you guys back in the past, right? And what you're looking at on the screen is the rapper Trouble, and the woman next to him is Alexis Sky, right? Now, a couple years ago, I told you guys before I lived in Atlanta, and I actually lived a couple of minutes, like literally, like when I say literally down the street, I lived down the street from the place where Trouble, he met his demise, unfortunately, right? And the video necessarily isn't about him, but it's more about the optics, right? Because a lot of people don't understand, a lot of people don't understand that, you know, they sell the image. So let's talk about it, right? When you look at Trouble, he obviously has an image, right? You see the tattoos on his chest, arms, hands, face, neck. That image is sold to black people as masculinity, right? When black women look at that, they see that as the warrior of the group, right? These guys are the frontline soldiers of the group. And that's what the women tend to gravitate to because, again, when you look at him, he assimilated. It's kind of almost similar to when you know, think of somebody who's in a fraternity or sorority and they meet somebody else who's also in that. They know that person has also assimilated. They know they have also, you know, become familiar with the lifestyle or the culture or just the day-to-day things of being a part of that particular group, right? Those sororities and fraternities. So when you're a man, a black man, and you want to join the streets, you have to understand what that says to the women. It's kind of like putting that stamp of approval on yourself. We're like, okay, I'm ready to go. You feel me? Get this man off the assembly line. He's ready, right? And it's first of all, let's talk about it. It's a power struggle between the men in the streets and the women. Now, in Trouble's case, right, he is a rapper. So let's actually spin it back, way back to what it is, right? So follow along with me, right? I remember when Trouble kind of first came onto the rap scene and he was getting big. I remember he mentioned in an interview a long time ago how he is a convicted felon. Well, he was a convicted felon. He served time in prison. I forgot what for. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a armed burglary or just regular burglary. One of the two, but I believe he might have been armed. Anyways, he is somebody who went through the system. And the system is the stamp of approval. That's the equivalent to somebody meeting another veteran or somebody you're in the army, you meet a guy from the Navy. The guy in the Navy meets somebody from the Air Force. Same thing with the fraternities and sororities. You're a Q dog, you meet a guy who's a Noop. The Noop meet a guy who's a Kappa. She's an AKA. She met someone who's a Delta. The girl who's a Delta, she met someone who's a I think it's Zeta Sci-Fi. I forgot whatever it's called. Anyways, it's the stamp of approval. So everybody knows, we're all a part of this system, right? And people who aren't a part of this system, we're gonna look down on them. You feel me? We're gonna cast them out because you don't want to fit in, right? So for the young black men who see Trouble or rappers in general, and you think, oh man, listen, I want his life, I want that lifestyle. Trust me, you don't. It's sold to us to trap us. We all know, well, I know, but if you guys didn't know, let me explain to you. Rap music is tied to the prison industrial complex. It's been like that since the 80s, right? People who own the record companies invest a lot of money into private prisons. There's a reason why a prison can be a private institution, which means it is privately owned by a family, right? And in order for that family to continue running that prison, you have to guarantee occupancy, right? Which means I believe 70% of the prison needs to be filled. So what's one way we can get black men into these prisons to fill up these bunk beds? Well, guess what? The people who own the prisons work hand in hand with the people who own the record companies. Because guess what? If we cripple the men's ability to come out into the world and make money legally, right? Guess what he's going to do? Hit the streets. All the people who are in those poverty stricken neighborhoods, guess what they do? They don't go to colleges. Some of them even barely finish high school. So guess what he does? He runs to the streets. So guess why? That's why I've been saying the cycle continues with these people, because white supremacy will always win, because we keep giving men like this status. We keep giving men like this money, even though his money returns right back to the system, right? So you see him with Alexis Sky, and I haven't heard of her name since the incident with Trouble, and that was the last time I really heard about her. I don't know if she's an influencer or rapper or what, but apparently, she is Trouble's ex-girlfriend, right? And at the current time of his demise, she was his ex-girlfriend, right? So the picture you're looking at right now is who he lost his life to, right? Now, well, not necessarily to, but with. He was with her the night he lost his life. And again, me being the 10%, guys who fall into the 10%, when you look at this chick, you thinking to yourself, like, this is what guys are crashing out for? You feel me? Now, the Instagram post to the left, I don't really know who that is or what it's talking about. It might be her, I don't know. But the chick in the picture, that's who he was with the night he lost his life. Again, probably a ex stripper, you know, whatever the case is. But think about this, right? Think about this, right? That same woman, if she saw you, 10% guy, or even the perceived simp, you probably aren't a simp, but in her eyes, she look at you as a good simp. When she looks at you, you're less than. Matter of fact, you guys saw the video I made about the chick talking about, listen, I don't want the kings because the kings are unattractive. The kings treat you good, but they're ugly. So when she looks at guys like Trouble, oh yeah, I need me Trouble. Oh yeah, I love Trouble. Oh yeah, Trouble, he's the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? They look at these guys and they glaze them. They glaze them. You feel me? And this is why I'm saying Tyrone's, Pookie's, Glocktavius's, they're made for black women. Like literally, they're made, created, handpicked for black women. This is why I tell you guys, you don't need to waste your time over there. And it's funny because hold on, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. But you don't need to waste your time over there. Now, Trouble, he was sleeping at her apartment the night that he, met his demise. And this particular woman has an ex-boyfriend who I believe she recently broke up with that same week or the week prior to Trouble coming over. And you have to accept the fact that this is a hood chick, right? A hood dude for the hood chick. So Trouble goes to her apartment. He's taking her on a Pound Town session. And the ex-boyfriend who's stalking her, I guess he comes to the apartment. And guess what? This guy has a key to the apartment. You don't think she knows that? I mean, I believe he might have kicked the door down. I don't remember the particulars. Either he broke in or the man had a key to the apartment. It was one of the two. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he forced his way in there, which means he probably kicked the door down, right? Either way it goes, she knew her ex was that kind of guy. So Trouble, who's over the apartment, again, you see a C8 Corvette. How many people own a C8 Corvette? Exactly. So a guy with a C8 Corvette is over her apartment. It's a famous rapper that was in the city. I mean, the ex boyfriend probably lost his top, and you know what I'm saying. That's how things, excuse me, escalated, and then boom, trouble lose his life. So again, that's what black women want, at least from the Tyrones. I mean, she probably wouldn't even care if the ex boyfriend came into the apartment and harmed you 10%, man, or perceived simp. But see, you have to ask yourself if Trouble is a famous rapper with all this money, a C8 Corvette, why is he at her apartment in the hood? Because that neighborhood that he was in at her apartment, I've been there multiple times. That is the hood. So, what are you doing with a $100,000 car in the hood, sleeping at a female's place, right? Ask yourself that because he couldn't take her home. See, what they don't tell you about the street life when these older black men are telling you about, oh yeah, man, join this gang. Oh yeah, man, go out here and go push these packs, man, flip this and flip that. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you that. When you see the girls glazing the guys, oh, he got tattoos, oh, he a crip, oh, he a blood, blah, 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 blah. When you see the girls, you know, hyping up these guys, no one ever tells you the specifics about the reality behind being a street thug or a street figure, whatever you want to call these dudes. When you go to prison and you catch a felony charge, guess what you can't do when you get released? You can't go and apply for an apartment. You can't go and purchase a home because why? They run background checks. When you have burglary, armed burglary on your criminal record, when you have distribution of narcotics on your criminal record, when you have domestic violence, you have battery, you have aggravated assault, you have all types of violent or just negative charges on your criminal record, they don't want you in their neighborhood. You feel me? You can't go in the suburbs. Maybe you can go get an apartment in the hood, Section 8, maybe, but I mean, they're still gonna pick a woman on Section 8 or who needs it over the guy who just has a criminal record. You know what I'm saying? And he needs Section 8. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you always see that these type of guys are stuck on a woman's couch somewhere. Now, I'm not sure where he was living at in Atlanta, but you have to ask yourself, if I'm a famous rapper, I have all this money, I drive $100,000 car, why am I sleeping at a female's house when I can just bring her to my place? Because he lives with a woman. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So it's always a power struggle between them because again, black women might say, "Oh, listen, he's handsome, he's the best looking guy, he's attractive. Oh, he way better than all you ugly ass, unattractive kings and whatever the case may be." She may say whatever she might want to say, but guess what? She has control over him. Even with him being a famous rapper, she can control him. You, she can call you ugly, unattractive, you a lame, you a square, you a simp, oh, you a future stepdad, whatever the case may be. But guess what? She can't control you. And they need you, black men. They need you. But again, you lost your life over this. Man, I wouldn't smash that on my worst day. If she told me, listen, just pay me $10, I wouldn't smash that on my worst day. On my worst day, dude. But see, they don't tell you this kind of stuff when you're growing up. See, it takes a well made up mind to even figure out the dynamics between this kind of stuff. And then I also heard that, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, at the time of his demise, he was dating a lawyer, the lawyer that was on the Little Dirk and King Vaughn case when they were in Atlanta shooting at a guy at the Varsity, right? So here he goes dating some snow, attractive woman too. But then you ask yourself, why? And yeah, it's some snow. It's some snow. But you ask yourself, why is a snow bunny who is college educated, right? A lawyer. dating this street guy, this criminal, this thug. And see, I'm not sure what county she lived in, but she lived in Atlanta. I mean, she probably still lives there, if I'm not mistaken. But you ask yourself, how and why is she dating, or why was she dating that kind of guy when she can go date any guy she wants to? Again, she's attractive, but she's dating a convicted felon who's a rapper. See, in those cities, right? Atlanta, Alabama, Baltimore, DC, Philly, Chicago, um, New York City, very certain cities, right? But let's keep it on Atlanta specifically, because Atlanta claims to be a black city, right? A lot of those cities I just named, other than what, DC and Chicago, they claim to be black cities. I mean, I think Philly as well, but they claim to be black cities. But most cities on the East Coast, even with a high black population, they don't claim to be black cities. But Atlanta claims to be a black city. So why would a white woman who's attractive, college educated, why would she get with this guy? Because I told you guys before, we are influential people. And she probably works with black colleagues, right? She probably has black people who are on her team, black women at that, right? She might have black female friends. And guess what? When you put Amanda, I don't know her personal name, but let's just say her name is Amanda, right? Typical white girl name. Amanda, Sarah. When you put Amanda and Sarah around black women, when you put Esmeralda and Angie around black women, when you put Caitlin and Jennifer Ling Ling around black women, they do get influenced by them. And guess what? When black women have the influence on other women who want to date black men, she's telling you that, listen, don't date no regular guy. Don't date no square. Don't date the 10% guy. Go and date you a guy like Trouble. Again, I don't know Trouble's character, but if we want to go off his record, he's a convicted felon. Somebody might say, "Oh, he a stand up dude. Oh man, he's solid. Oh, he a real nigga." But he's a convicted felon. He was burglarizing people's homes. Whether you might say that was his op, that was the plug. I mean, he still got caught and he went to jail for it. He served time for it. You feel me? And his image doesn't represent anything positive. But yet, these are the guys who are the warriors of our group. These are the guys who should lead our group. These are the guys who are the 25% impregnating the 80% of black women. And I don't know if he has kids, right? I believe the Snow Bunny has kids. I'm not sure with who. But you see where I'm going with this, right? You see how even when you put someone who's not us around us, right? The influence to go and pick the negativity is still high. That's why I tell you guys, especially who fit into the 10%, if you live in those states in the South, man, please leave those cities, man. Because all you can do is just sit back and look at this stuff. And it's like you sit there and question it, like, really? Even amongst younger women, I've seen women who got their got their stuff together. I was about to curse. You know what I'm saying? She's college educated, has her own place, her own vehicle, a great career, and she dates bums. She dates losers. Date guys with a street tattooed on his face. Date guys with a gang tattooed on his face. You dating guys with dead homies tattooed on his face. I'm like, what? But you have to remember it's a power struggle. They want control. So if a woman can control, in for the sake of the conversation, if she can control a beast, if she can control a beast and she can have a beast, do anything she wants at her command because ultimately he needs her, you don't think any woman will pick that? See, this is why I don't try to fight it no more. I just see what it is and I move accordingly. I see what it is and I pack my bags and I go. I see what it is and listen, black man, I'm not fighting it. You can't fight this. It's never gonna change. Glocktavius and Tyrone's will always have a foot on the neck of the community. And that's only because black women control the entire community. They believe they speak for us as a group. No, you speak for those men. You speak for other women. You speak for the Simps and the Tyrones. You speak for other black women, but you don't speak for the 10%. You don't speak for me because guess what? We don't align. Guys like this will never control the community. Guys like this wouldn't even be the rappers. What happened to the guys who used to promote clean rap? See, it's all about the agenda. It's all about getting paid. And this is why I said if you put the right group of men in charge, we would change black men's image across the planet. Because as far as America goes, you can say America, white men, right? They control black media, so they get to put out whatever they want to put out. But if we made the change as the people, because the media can put out whatever they want to put out, it's the fact that the people can look up the stats. So if people, black people, the ones who are in poverty, because again, most of the people who are having kids come from the poverty line, right? And then even within the middle class, you still have women getting pregnant by these Glocktaviuses and Tyrone. So if the people would make a change on who gets to reproduce again, women say, oh, but these guys have better genetics. Better in what way? Is sacrificing the future of our group worth it for a man? Okay, he's tall. You can say he's handsome and he's stupid as fuck. Low IQ, 75 IQ, borderline retarded. Can't even speak properly, can't even read properly. Fifth grade reading level, 30 years old. What? That's who you want to repopulate the community? But he's tall. Oh, but he's strong. Oh, but he's handsome. Yo, shut the fuck up. Listen, this is why I tell you dudes, you might as well pack your bags, go somewhere else, get your passport, and go be happy. Don't worry about if the black community is going to ever prosper. That's not your problem, bro. That's not your job to worry about that kind of stuff. If the women are in charge, let them worry about it. If the women are in charge, let them worry about it. What are you concerning yourself with it for? What are you concerning yourself with it for? If that's who you have to be, if that's the life you have to live, the circumstances that you have to be under just to attract them, I'm like, come on, even the ones who aren't them but still want those type of guys, yo, that's why I said you have to leave those environments. Bro, when you're on the west, when you're up north, snow bunnies hang with snow bunnies. You got to remember in that particular city, Atlanta, black people have a very high number. So we make up a large portion of the city, man. You're somewhere in like Seattle, you're somewhere in San Diego. I mean, I'm not saying black people don't exist out there, it's just not that many of them. So guess what? The women don't behave in that kind of manner. The women, they want to act white. I mean, you can say what you want about that. Oh man, I don't want no white girl, man. Oh, I don't want no black woman who act white. Hey, well, look, guess what? I don't want a white girl who act black. I don't want a Latina who act black. I don't want a Asian girl who acts like a hood black woman. I don't want that. You feel me? And again, I know the influence is coming from something. You feel me? And when it's one of them, that's enough to poison the whole group. So imagine if you have the one white girl, in a lot of cases, I've seen this plenty of times, the one white girl hanging out with a group of black women. Or you might have the one Latina hanging out with a group of black women. Guess who she's going for? They program her to think you 10%, man, you're a lame. They programmed to think, yo, these other dudes over here, that's your stepdad. Mess with Tyrone for right now, and you can go to these other dudes right here, and he's a ready-made stepdad. He's ready to be a stepdad. He gonna have resources, a place to stay, a vehicle, a good job slash career. You feel me? And he gonna take care of you and your kid. All you gotta do is X, Y, and Z. You feel me? So pick your poison, bro. Anyways, yo, black man, I'm out. Peace, man. I hope this helps.